Sunlight streamed through the windows of the makeshift space base in Luke's backyard, illuminating the interior and creating an atmosphere of anticipation. Luca stood by the main window, his eyes fixed on the sky, as the clouds parted, revealing the endless darkness of space, dotted with stars. Luca, looking up at the sky. Today we will finally see what lies beyond Orion's belt. All systems checked? Zara sat at the control panel, her fingers quickly running over the keys as the screens flashed with information about the ship's status. Zara, adjusting the ship's computers. Everything is ready. Engines at 100%, but this new quantum stabilizer is clicking. I need 5 minutes to check it. Mia sat in the corner, carefully leafing through a journal filled with drawings of constellations and notes on coordinates. Mia leafing through the log. I've written down all the coordinates. If we find that legendary planet, it'll be the greatest discovery since Gagarin's flight. Tony was busy fixing the temperature sensor, occasionally muttering to himself as he worked on the problem with his tools. Tony slamming his fist on the control panel. This old temperature sensor is acting up again, but I'll fix it in flight. The Star Trek ship shuddered as the jets activated. Zara pressed the auto launch button, and the crew counted together. 3, 2, 1. Start. The jets glowed like a comet, and the ship rose into the sky. Luca felt his heart pounding as they passed through the atmosphere. The Star Trek was soon a small dot on the horizon, leaving Earth behind and entering endless space. After an hour of flight, the atmosphere inside the Star Trek was filled with silence, as the crew members carefully monitored the instruments. Tony suddenly noticed an anomaly on the radar, which broke their concentration. Tony pointing to the screen. Look! A planet with an atmosphere of crystals? This is not in our charts. An unusual planet appeared on the screen, surrounded by a shimmering layer that resembled a prism. The colors shimmered like a rainbow, creating a spectacular scene. Mia jumped from her seat, her eyes shining with excitement. Mia excited. I'll record everything. Luca, we have to land. Luca turned to Zara, who had already begun to adjust the ship's course towards the unknown planet. Luca nodding. Zara, approach slowly. Tony, prepare the scanners for alien life forms. As they approached the planet, the ship began to vibrate slightly. The shimmering nebula surrounding the planet seemed to be getting thicker. The light was becoming more intense, almost hypnotic. Zara, whispering. Do you hear? It's like someone is singing. The sounds came from the nebula, gentle and melodious, as if the universe itself was creating them. The crew was silent, enchanted by the unfamiliar sounds that filled the cabin. Tony tried to analyze the frequencies of the sound using the ship's communication system, but the data was confusing. The melody seemed to be neither natural nor completely artificial. Upon landing on the planet's surface, the crew saw a landscape covered in crystalline structures that reflected light like mirrors. Each step outward was accompanied by new tones of the melody that surrounded them. Luca led the team towards the largest crystal nearby. Luca, this is not just a planet. This is some kind of space symphony. Let's try to figure out what it is trying to tell us. As they observed the crystals and listened to the melody, they felt they were on the verge of a discovery that could change their understanding of the universe forever. On the planet's surface, the team was greeted by a being with skin like moon dust and eyes that sparkled like galaxies. Zog, as he was called, had a melodious voice that resembled the sound of space winds. Zog, in a melodious voice. Welcome, travelers of the stars. I've been waiting for you. Mia was stunned, her eyes wide with wonder. How? How do you know our language? She asked, trying to understand the secret behind Zog's ability to communicate with them. Zog smiling. This planet remembers everything it has seen. Your stories travel through space faster than light. Zog led them through a forest where the trees had leaves made of glass fibers. The light that passed through the leaves created a kaleidoscope of colors, like those seen in crystals. Tony was fascinated, touching the tree with great admiration. Tony, touching the tree. This is not possible. The entire ecosystem runs on electromagnetic energy. Zog, pointing to the river of liquid crystal. This is the river of time. I will show you how my people remember the past. The river of liquid crystal was like a mirror, reflecting the light and colors around it. As they walked along its banks, Zog began to sing a gentle melody. The crystals began to glow in time with his song, creating a spectacular scene reminiscent of a cosmic symphony. Mia was spellbound, feeling her soul merge with the energy of the planet. Luca and Zara stood in the background, watching the miracle unfold before them. Tony was busy recording data, trying to understand the secrets of the electromagnetic energy that powered this unique ecosystem. Zog continued to sing, and the river of liquid crystal began to tell the story of his people's past. The light grew stronger, and the team felt they were entering a world far beyond their comprehension. They were witnessing something that would change their understanding of the universe forever. While exploring the mysterious planet, Luca noticed the wreckage of a spaceship beneath the ground. His eyes widened in shock as he recognized the remains of a human ship from the 21st century. Luca, shocked. This is a human ship from the 21st century. How did it end up here? Zog, who was standing next to him, looked sad. His eyes were clouded with melancholy, as if remembering something that had been lost. Zog, sadly, your ancestors visited us 200 years ago, but they didn't understand our energy. They turned it into a weapon. Suddenly, the ground shook, and the sounds coming from the depths of the planet grew louder. Zara looked at the alarms on her device, her face worried. Zara, looking at the alarms. The planetary core is destabilizing. Our ship cannot take off until this calms down. Zog stood tall, his figure determined. We must activate the ancient crystal in the core, but the journey is dangerous, he said, as if inviting the team on a mission that would change everything. Mia was excited, but also worried. What will happen if we activate the crystal? She asked, as they all prepared for the journey into the unknown. Zog nodded. The crystal will stabilize the planetary core and allow your ship to take off. But we have to be quick. Destabilizing the core could destroy the entire planet. Tony was busy preparing for the journey, while Luca led the team towards the entrance to the underground tunnel that led to the ancient crystal. The journey was dangerous, but they knew they had to take the risk to save the planet and themselves. As they passed through the tunnel, the light grew fainter, and the sounds coming from the depths of the planet grew louder. They were aware that they were on the verge of a great discovery, but also a great risk. Every second they spent on the planet was a second closer to disaster or salvation. After repairing the damage together with Zog's advanced technology, the team stood in front of the ship, aware that the moment of parting was approaching. The planet's crystalline landscape reflected the light, creating a scene that seemed to have been painted by the universe itself. Mia, holding Zog's hand, promise us that we will meet again. Zog, tall and calm, his eyes sparkling like stars, gently placed the crystal ball in Mia's palm. The ball pulsed with a soft light, as if it had a life of its own. Zog, placing the crystal ball in her palm. This crystal will show you the way. The light within it is a piece of my heart. Mia clutched the ball tightly, feeling the warmth radiating from it. Luca and Zara stood to the side, silently observing the moment. Tony was the last to enter the ship, carefully holding a piece of technology from the wreckage they had found. Tony, serious. This changes everything we know about the history of space travel. As they prepared to depart, Zog raised his hand in greeting. His figure grew smaller as the ship's doors closed off the view of the outside world. The Star Traveler shivered as the engines began to rev at full power. Mia sat at the control panel, carefully observing the crystal ball that now glowed brighter than before. New coordinates appeared on the ship's screen, a path they could not see before. Zara, looking at the data on the screen, it seems to be leading us towards something unknown. Luca leaned back in his seat, thinking deeply about Zog's words and the technology they had found. Tony had already begun to analyze the device from the wreckage, muttering something about its incredible capabilities. As they left the planet's orbit, the melody that had accompanied them since landing slowly faded. The universe before them was endless and full of promise, and Star Trek raced toward a new adventure, guided by the light of Zog's heart and the secrets they had yet to discover. In the courtyard, as they watched the stars, Luca turned the crystal in his hand, feeling its warmth and light. His eyes were closed, and his lips whispered words that were only for him. Luca, whispering, "I hear him." Zog is singing. Zara was leaning against the boat, looking up at the sky where the stars shone like diamonds. Her face was peaceful, as if she was aware that this was just the beginning of their journey. Zara, leaning against the boat. This was just the beginning. The universe has more secrets for us. Mia was sitting on the ground, writing in a journal that was filled with drawings and notes about their adventures. Her eyes were bright with excitement as she recorded her thoughts about the day that had passed. Mia, writing in her journal. Today we learned that every discovery is a story of friendship. In the distance, in the sky, a flash of crystal light twinkled in the rhythm of their smiles. It was as if Zog's song still lurked in space, connecting them to the secrets they had discovered. As they gazed up at the sky, they felt they were part of something greater than themselves, a cosmic symphony that would carry them further into the unknown. Luca opened his eyes and looked at Zara and Mia, who were looking at him with the same tenderness and excitement. They smiled together, knowing that their adventures would continue to reveal new secrets and create new stories of friendship and discovery. "I know we will return to space," Luca said, his voice full of optimism. "And when we do, we will be ready for whatever awaits us." Zara nodded as Mia closed the journal and stood up. "Now we have a crystal to guide us," she said, "and a song to connect us to Zog and the universe." As they turned toward the ship, the light from the crystal in Luca's hand grew stronger, as if calling them on a new journey. And so, under the stars that shone like diamonds, the Star Trek crew knew that their adventures would continue to reveal new secrets and create new stories of friendship and discovery.